Okay, welcome back to Jackalope and Raven, aka an old man plays with toy soldiers. So, this is my second take today. I had promised myself I was going to get this channel started and get something out at least once a month. Goal is twice a month. And of course, here we are on the last day of January. I recorded earlier with some ideas on a 5 Parsecs playthrough that I want to share with you guys in the coming year. And everything went to hell. So that's all been tossed. And I'm going to do a quick post game. We played some Dracula's America this past week for the first time in years, and I played the Forsaken. I had to use a bunch of random models that day, and so I dug through my boxes and found all these goodies I had bought years ago, and finally painted them up today. So this is my posse for next month's game with my regular once-a-month skirmish group. We've got, of course, two in Dracula's America. The Forsaken come in the supplement Hunting Grounds. If you're not familiar with them, and I was not, let me talk a little bit about them. The idea is these are cavalrymen, Custer's 7th Cavalry, that have been cursed after Little Bighorn, and are basically always perpetual outlaws and outcasts now. At the start of every game, you roll randomly for actual posse members, and 2 of them become beasts. They're not as good. They're not as good as, say, a bear or anything. They're kind of randomly described beasts. They've got lead belly, and where is it? Let's see, what is it? That's the Shadow Tongue. So they become accursed. In addition, at the start of each game but before deployment, randomly determine 2 non-hired gun models in your posse. These models are accursed for the duration of the game, after which they return to normal. Replace these models with suitable monstrous beast forms. So I have a zombicide dead or alive werewolf and a zombicide dead or alive Weir Coyote, and then I've got a bunch of men. So let's set them out, and then 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I've only played one game, so my posse is only 6 people, and I've got 1 guy with a rifle, 1 guy with a shotgun, and then I gave my captain 2 pistols. I need 6 models total. I'm going to keep this guy in because the sword is cool. Only 1 pistol. Only 1 pistol. So that's my 6. This is my starting posse. These are all extra models. Out of these 6, I would roll randomly, and 2 of them change to accursed. Accursed have lead belly and fearsome. Fearsome's pretty handy. Makes you a melee monster, and 40mm base also helps, but it's not as cool as it would be if they had bear form. So these 6 guys, they've been in 1 game. We didn't finish the game. I had to bow out early, so we took it as if my team bottled, but I still get a roll for having been in the game. So I need, my captain is a veteran who needs a die 8, which I don't have handy, I bet. How are we going to do a D8? Let's see. We will do a D8. I'm just going to roll a D10 and get the result 1 to 8 to see. So this is their first game for this new posse. They had $0 remaining at the end because I bought I bought a rifle, extra pistol, and a shotgun for the guys. So I'm rolling a D10, looking for an 8, and I re-roll if it's a 9 or a 10. It's a 4, so the captain gets 1 XP. These are the models I'm using now. I was using some more random outlaw types. So I have a Maria here, I don't know who, if I'll change the names or what. Skull, that's a 6. So Maria becomes a veteran. Hogswell, 5, gets 1 XP. And Polly, again, I was using female gunslingers because I had them and they looked cool. 1 XP. Oh, and then I have Samuel and Neil. They were both the accursed in that one. 1 XP. And again, a 3, 1 XP. Honestly, not bad to get 2 veterans now in my my force. That lets me can go to the next step. Let me see. We lost, but still, as a loser, you get $5d6 dollars to spend to recruit or anything else. So let's see. I've got $10, $16. I'm going to check really quick. I think I'm going to end up saving this because what I really want to get is a grimoire so I can get an arcanist into my posse. Let's check a couple things really quick. First, as I was mentioning, the Forsaken have it pretty bad. I don't know that I would play these really, except anyway, I've agreed to do it, and here they are. So, faction benefits or not. Faction benefit fugitives. As former members of the 7th Cavalry, Forsaken posses may buy horses, not including Appaloosas, at half cost, rounding up, and may even buy them for a starting posse. However, they are constantly hunted by other factions for various reasons. So Forsaken posses are always outlawed in a campaign, see page 64, and can never play blood money. So horses are a pretty big deal in Dracula's America because they add 2 inches to your movement, and you only move 4 inches in this game normally. It's a huge movement increase, really, really good. And it was something I was noticing with these cursed beasts, Forsaken beasts. They also had a 6-inch movement, and that's pretty radical. If you ever played against Twilight Order and they had all their hellhounds out, or 2 hellhounds out, which is the most I guess they can do, they're pretty much a pain. So what does it mean to be an outlaw posse? You're always on the run, out in isolated areas. Okay, that's flavor. Territory. Outlaw posses in a campaign may never have more than 1 territory. Any excess territories are lost when you become an outlaw. Wow. So only 1 territory. Purchasing. Here's the part that's really bad. Outlaw posses always roll a d6 on the recruitment table, regardless of their boss's grit. In addition, outlaw bosses deduct a further 1 from their roll when searching for uncommon items. Okay. Bounty, that's a whole rule subset I'm not going to get into. So I only roll a d6 when recruiting, so it means I can hire some basic novices. I don't know if I can get special novices now. I can't, or not special novices, if I can get hired guns. Possibly only had 1 of these individuals each purchase phase. Okay, that's separate from my recruit rule. So my recruit, I do get a 6. Excuse me, a 6 is fantastic. It is 1 veteran. So my posse is now a base of 7 models, and I get 1 more veteran. Let's see, I'm just going to put veteran. Actually, I know I was planning to rename this posse anyway, so I'm going to just put in Bill Masterson, and he is a veteran. That gets me from 6 to 7 models in my posse. $16 to spend. Now, I don't want to spend too much because I want to make sure the next roll gives me a chance at getting a... what am I trying to say? I need a grimoire. I'm playing against Twilight Order and the Congregation, and they have so many summons and other stuff going on that I've got to get an Arcanist going as soon as I can. So hiring or getting a grimoire. So what does it cost to hire a actual occultist straight up? Let's see. Maverick Arcanist, $16 to hire. Wow, that would be everything I've got. So do you pay the retainer before the first game? You have during recruitment, you must pay. So if I buy them now, okay, so I'm going to get a Maverick Arcanist. They are a novice. Dr. Deacon. Novice. Maverick Arcanist. And I'll have to dig up a model. I've got actually a model on the table that I think I'll be painting up. That gets my posse up to 8, and I am broke again for our next match. So we're doing monthly Dracula's America right now. Hopefully it'll last a few months. I'll do further reports. I really like Dracula's America. It's my favorite skirmish game. I was so excited after this last game that I picked up this French Quarter by Tabletop Scenics. Unpainted, but none of the fiddly bits that some of their other kits have. Excited to put that together. 3 buildings, so that alone makes a lot of terrain that's very flavorful. I don't have a lot of Old West stuff. The only other thing I have are some 3D printed buildings that look like they could be Middle Eastern or Adobe structures. So this will be great. We'll go with kind of a Spanish colonial field board rather than a Wild West. Now, as I said earlier, I was hoping to record and tell you guys about an idea for a 5 Parsecs from Home campaign I have. And I'm going to use these rules to do Fallout. And I rolled up the crew and everything earlier, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. I'm figuring the setting is going to be New Mexico, southern Colorado, New Mexico, and some, Vault 37, Vault 39. So that's good because that lets me dig up, play with more of my kits. I've got Kaiser's Legion for a good bad guy kit. I've got NCR. I've made them one of the patrons in the campaign. Sector Government. What else? And then, of course, Mirelurks and stuff. Of course, a Desert Mirelurk. I guess they were in Fallout New Vegas. I admit I've only played Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And much to my surprise, the story of Fallout 76 is actually my favorite of the two. I really need to play New Vegas. I love the idea. I love the factions. So I made up my crew. It's going to be Nick Charles, and Nora Charles, along with a Asta, the dog meat model, and Mr. Pennyworth for the boss. And I love my Preston Harvey model, so I've got a Preston Clay, a human, and then I just picked Sarah Jane Smith to use. Oh my word, I forgot her name. The reporter from Fallout 4. I'll use that model, and that'll be my initial starting crew. Nick Charles is a human. He had +1 gear. He has some great equipment. Because of our backgrounds, we got some really good benefits. So Nick himself was background industrial. His motivation was freedom, and his class was troubleshooter. This gave him +1 gear and a bonus to his reaction. Nora, I made a soulless. Now, I'm modeling Nora off of the idea of there is a mod called Synthetic Love for Fallout 4, which inserts Nora as a synth that you can pick up in Boston. It's a great, very well done mod, and it really changed my playthrough. I've only played modded Fallout 4. It is unrecognizable from the base game, I think, but I didn't know the differences, so it was all cool. She came from a hive city, which I said was pre-war Los Angeles. Her motivation is order. Her class is traitor. This gave her +1 story point and an extra 2d6 credits. So we're sitting on 8 credits after the first campaign turn. 8 credits, 8 story points. I'm doing a ship, kind of thinking I'll use a vehicle for now. And when I want to cap off this campaign at some point, I will have them do a scenario where they find a crashed Zaton saucer, and then it becomes a proper 5 parsecs in space story. But I wanted to do a few scenarios and have a reason to paint up all these kits I've had sitting around. I have not played 5 parsecs before. I've done some 5 leagues and really liked it. So that is the next goal for the channel then, is to walk you through my Fallout Area 51, let's call it, right? Because we're going to get his flying saucer. So Fallout Area 51 is the name of the campaign. Where's my charts here? So let's fill this out some real time. I'm just going to name the world. Fallout Area 51. And we did get some patrons. I am going to use one of them as NCR, as the sector government. And I don't know what the other one is. I think I'm going to make it an individual, maybe Mr. House, if that makes sense. I don't know when that would put me in the Fallout timeline, and I'm not going to be strict with myself on the Fallout timeline. So yeah, initial patrons, there were 2 that came up during the generation. So NCR and Mr. House. What else? Opposition, I don't know all of them yet, but I do need to work them through, of course. There's going to be the Kaisar's Legion. What else? There's going to be not scavengers, raiders, right? Raiders and super mutants. So those are going to be our 3 factions in the campaign. Okay. So that's the skirmish games. That's the stuff I'm going to be reporting on camera, or kind of have some stuff to show you. I may try to work up some solo rules for Dracula's America. I'm not wild about the ones the author wrote. And I think just playing against using, a decent AI for things that shoot, and just a blind draw for the opponent should be enough to make a valid Dracula's America solo game. There's some other stuff over here. These, getting back to Dracula's America, are the random monsters. My random monsters. So Vampire Elder, Lone Rider. There was some sort of undead gunman in there. A Manitou, a Sasquatch, Manitou, Sasquatch, Hellhound, Jackalope. Maybe this was the Hellhound. And a zombie. I'm forgetting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So lesser vampire. And Chupacabra. And a Hellhound. So that's them. I may do some solo games. What else we got over here? My twice a month D&D group is meeting. We've been using 5e, converted to be using elements of World of Darkness, Present Day, and The Strange by Monty Cook. I've got elements of those. They started off on the 20th century Earth, but I'm putting them through the giants. They have finished the good old hill giants, and that's the good old hill giants. They finished the good old hill giants. They've done some interlinking material story. Now they need to do the frost giants. Converting the frost giants to 5e and making it into a role-playing scenario is a little interesting because it's basically a murder fest. There's not much to be said about it. But they had fun the first time, and of course, anything you make once the players hit the game should always become more interesting as you take their inputs and make a show of it. At some point, I will do some talk-throughs of various games I've been picking up. The most interesting one right now for me is, of course, the new Rangers of Shadow Deep. This is pre-order on Modiphius's website. It has new character generation, as well as an assembly of various scenarios. So if there's time, I will start filming some of these. These add limitations and ways to customize your character. Limitations and boons, what do they call them? Not boons. Traits. So traits that allow you to just customize your characters more. Really great addition to Rangers. He adds in some archetypes. These are non-Ranger characters. So in Rangers of Shadow Deep, you play Rangers. These are he's expanding the world, so we're getting different forces from across the region that are coming to fight the Shadow Deep. Chthonian mages, kind of like druids, those knights, of course, paladins, the river sharks, your thieves guild, what else? Servants of Seth for your cleric archetype, undead killers with clubs, great picture. Varakian archers, which I guess elves. The elves remember the alliance of old and come to help out. They're another human nation, and they have archers instead of rangers. Vampire hunters, so you can use your Grimdark models, because who doesn't want some Grimdark in their Rangers of Shadow Deep? I don't even remember these guys. I read through them. They weren't that appealing to me, but they use scrolls and spells better. Some Delver types, Dungeoneering types, getting all the climbing and other skills that you never take because you've got to kill things. Some cool Dervish types, sword-wielding desert dwellers that are flaming swords and stuff. Very cool. All of these can be either archetypes or companions. A neat idea, Shadow Deep survivors. And then some set flat new companions that should have been available and weren't, such as the healer. And then a simpler way to do animal companions. And finally, all of the classic scenarios. He lays them out in a recommended play order, I believe, here. So has the recommended play order, 12 scenarios, would give me 12 things to film, and could be interesting. My big thing is whether I would want to do it actual as straight up Rangers or do it reskinned as Stargrave and just do it all sci-fi skinned. I've got plenty of models for both, and mostly be as the mood hits me. That is the first thing in years for my handful of subscribers. Thank you. This is the new material. Getting stuff out is always scary, so I'm glad to have it out. I will be working, of course, on getting more comfortable with production so that the quality goes up from video to video. But in the meantime, this is going to go up pretty raw. I don't know if I can do anything about that background. I can hear a fan vent came on. So unfortunately, that might really make the last half of this bad. My apologies, because again, I want this out before February starts. So I will look into scrubbing that. Hopefully it's cleaned up a little and you're going, what's he talking about? But I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. So thanks. Looking forward to getting more of these out in the coming year, and good gaming. See you next time.